You are standing on the research vessel, one wrong step, and you are in the water. Not ocean water, the deepest water on Earth. Below you, nearly 11,000 meters of darkness, pressure and cold. Here is exactly what happens to your body, second by second. You are standing at the edge of the deepest place on Earth. The Mariana Trench drops nearly 11,000 meters straight down. That is deeper than Mount Everest is tall, by more than a mile. Drop Everest inside the trench, and it vanishes completely underwater. Below 200 meters, all sunlight is permanently, completely gone. At the bottom, absolute darkness, absolute silence, absolute pressure. And you are about to fall, or the instant your body hits the water, the surface slams back. At this speed, water does not give. It hits like concrete. The shock punches through every bone and organ simultaneously. But that is just the opening blow. You are already sinking, fast, uncontrolled, tumbling down. The ocean swallows you, and the surface light begins to shrink. The pressure is already climbing with every sink. Here is the brutal math of the deep ocean. Every 10 meters you sink, one full atmosphere of pressure adds on top. At the surface, your body handles just 1 atmosphere. That is normal. But at 100 meters deep, 11 atmospheres are already crushing you. You can feel your eardrums flex and buckle inward. At 300 meters, standard scuba tanks would be crushed flat. You have 10,000 more meters. Your body is about 60% water, and that part is safe. Water cannot be compressed. Pressure just passes straight through it. The problem is everything inside you that is filled with air. Your lungs, your sinuses, the cavities behind your eardrums, all air. Air compresses violently under pressure, squeezing those spaces toward nothing. Your lungs were never built to implode, but here they will. And this process has already begun the moment you've been falling for over a minute now. 200 meters of ocean presses down above your head. The pressure on your body has reached 20 atmospheres. Every 10 meters of depth added 1 full crushing atmosphere. Your lungs are now squeezed to roughly the size of a fist. The air inside has compressed into a tiny fraction of its space. You can still breathe, but each breath fits somewhere around 200 meters, the temperature drops like a cliff. You've just crossed the thermocline, the ocean's cold border. Above it, the water held perhaps 15 degrees Celsius. Below, it plunges toward 4 degrees, near freezing. Your skin registers the shift as a full-body shock. Cold this severe slows your muscles and dulls your thoughts. Your body begins pulling blood away from your limbs. The last threads of sunlight gave out somewhere above you. Below 200 meters, not a single photon reaches down here. You cannot see your own hand stretched out in front of you. This is not a dim room. This is absolute physical darkness. Your eyes dilate as wide as they can and find nothing. And the trench floor is still 10,000 meters further down. And here is where your mind begins to slip. High pressure is forcing nitrogen gas into your bloodstream. It dissolves into your tissues far faster than normal. The feeling arrives slowly, a dreamy warmth, almost pleasant. Divers have a name for this, the rapture of the deep. Your judgment softens, danger starts to feel perfectly fine. Your brain is being chemically sedated by the pressure itself, and the deeper you fall, your eyes are wide open, but they see absolutely nothing. 1 kilometer down, every last photon of sunlight is gone. The pressure here is already 100 times what you feel on land. Every 10 meters you sank, another full atmosphere stacked on top. Your body is mostly water, and water resists compression beautifully. But your lungs, your sinuses, every hollow space, those hold air. And air, under this crushing weight, has at the surface, your lungs held roughly 6 liters of air. By 1 kilometer deep, that volume may have collapsed to a fraction. The soft walls fold toward each other, flattening from every direction. Your diaphragm spasms and pulls, but the chest wall will not expand. There is no emergency breath coming. That supply chain is severed. Oxygen left in your blood is burning out faster than your cells can cope. What was once a lung is now just collapsed. Your sinuses are hollow caves carved into the bones of your skull. At 1 kilometer down, those caves are slamming shut. The sensation would be your own skull trying to crush itself from the inside. Your inner ear, also air-filled, collapses, and all orientation is gone. You cannot tell which way is up, or if you are still moving at all. Every airspace in your body is converging on zero volume. The body is simply running out of places. Then, deep in the absolute black, something finally flickers to life. A bioluminescent creature drifts past your face, glowing cold blue-green. An estimated 80% of deep-sea creatures produce their own light. Some flash to lure prey, some to confuse predators, some for reasons still debated. You reach out toward them, but your arm barely responds. Your failing eyes catch violet, cold blue, and ghostly white flickering past. It is the most beautiful thing you have ever seen, and almost certainly the very last. You have crossed a threshold that has no name on any map. 4,000 meters below the surface, and still falling. The pressure surrounding you is now over 400 times what you felt on land. Every 10 meters you descended added another full atmosphere of force. That stacking never stopped, and it is not stopping now. Your lungs, your sinuses, your ears, all of them are already gone. But the physics are about to get much, much worse. Below this line, here is the strange and terrible truth about your body right now. About 60% of you is made of water, and water cannot be compressed. The water inside you holds its shape no matter the pressure. But inside you there are pockets of something else entirely, air. Air compresses, air gives, air surrenders. At this depth, those pockets have collapsed to near zero volume. The solid, water-filled tissues stayed intact. The air-filled spaces simply ceased. You are not being crushed like a grape. To understand the force on your body, try one image. Picture the Eiffel Tower, roughly 7,300 tons of steel and iron. Now imagine that entire weight balanced on 1 square inch of your skin. That is roughly the pressure at the bottom of the Mariana Trench. Not just on one spot, on every single square inch of you, all at once. Your ribcage was never designed to handle anything close to this. No bone, no cartilage, no muscle your body makes resists this force. The Eiffel Tower static pressure alone would have ended you. But there is a second force. The moment the last barrier between you and the ocean fails, it does not crack. It vanishes. The ocean does not seep in. It arrives all at once. A shock wave of water hits you like a physical solid impact. Scientists compare the speed to the impact of falling off the Golden Gate Bridge. It is not a slow drowning. It is one instantaneous collision. Concentric shock rings expand outward from your body in the water. There is no warning. Here is what makes this depth different from every other place on Earth. At roughly 4,000 meters or deeper, direct water exposure does not just kill you. It liquefies you, completely, almost instantly. The pressure breaks down soft tissue into something unrecognizable. Even bones, under sustained force at this depth, eventually yield. No submarine descends fast enough to recover anything coherent. Even if one arrived, the current would have scattered everything long before. The ocean does not keep what falls in, not at this depth. You would not be gone. The trench floor is not dramatic rock. It is soft, pale sediment. Millions of years of marine snow have drifted down and settled here. The temperature hovers just above freezing, around 2 degrees Celsius. There is no light down here. Your eyes register only pure blackness. Pressure at this depth reaches roughly 1,100 atmospheres. The floor stretches flat and nearly featureless in every direction. This is the most remote terrain, but something does live at these depths, hadal amphipods. These tiny crustaceans have no air spaces inside them to be crushed. They can detect organic matter from miles away via chemical trails. Within hours, thousands swarm toward anything that reaches the floor. They are nature's most efficient cleanup crew at the absolute extreme. Nothing that sinks this far rests in peace for very long. The scavengers have been working this floor for tens of... Here is the strange paradox. Pressure both destroys and preserves. Soft tissue exposed directly to this pressure is instantly liquefied. But bone and dense tissue behave differently. They can persist. With almost no oxygen at this depth, biological decay slows dramatically. Wreckage from sunken ships has been found strangely intact after decades. The trench floor is a freezer, a crusher, and a time capsule. What arrives transforms, compressed, preserved in darkness, slowly. Here is the fact that stops every scientist cold. Humans have visited the moon more times than the trench floor. Challenger Deep has been reached by humans fewer than 20 times total. 11 kilometers of ocean, largely unexplored, full of unnamed species. We know more about the surface of Mars than this place. The trench is not a void. It is a vertical alien world. 11 kilometers of mystery on your own planet. You just survived the deepest place on Earth, at least in your imagination. If you want to know what happens to your body in the next impossible situation, hit subscribe. A new episode drops every single week. Your body is waiting.